Good evening and welcome to AYV on Sunday on Channel 33 on TV and on FM 101.7 on the radio. Today we're talking about the NEC Western Region Commissioner's approval. This evening I have with me Honorable Abdul Kabo, a Member of Parliament for the Opposition All People's Congress Party. Good evening and welcome, Honorable.
Good evening, listeners and viewers.
I have Honorable Indolomoiwo Givao, the Member of Parliament representing the Salian People's Party. Good evening, Honorable, and welcome to the show.
Good evening, Samuel. Good evening, listeners and viewers.
All right, we're expected to be joined in the studio by Honorable Paul Sam, a Member of Parliament representing the Coalition for Change. And to you watching or listening, remember you can always make your contributions to the program by commenting on our Africa Young Voices Media Empire Facebook page and be part of the conversation. Alternatively, you can phone in when we open the call line later, and the number for you to do so is +232 30 622 766. +232 30 622 766. I'm going to start off with you, Honorable Abdul Kabo. You participated in the debate in Parliament as a political party. You advanced your arguments, but you pulled out of the voting process. Take us, on the concerns you had before the voting exercise was done.
Well, it's simple, yeah? The Constitution is very clear. The Constitution states in subsection 3 of section 32 that all members of the Electoral Commission shall be appointed by the President after consultation with leaders of all political parties and subject to the approval of Parliament. So meaning the appointment is contingent on consultation. After consultation, you do the appointment. You should not do the appointment before consultation. It is after consultation. Yeah? What is consultation? Consultation is not new. You know, we don't need to go to court to know the definition of consultation when we've had so many presidents who have consulted before ever they appoint. Take the case of former President Ahmad Tijan Kaba. Yeah, he consulted with all leaders of political party that he was going to appoint Ahmed Aka as the Chief Electoral Commissioner. After, with leaders of political party opposed to that, in fact, they came out with a proof, that is an identity card, a political party identity card of Ahmed Aka, that he belongs to a political party. For that reason, Ahmad Tijan, the former president, the late former president, had to change Ahmad Aka's appointment to Christina Thorpe. So that was consultation. The president, the late president, did not in any way write a letter saying that I have appointed. He called political party leaders to consult with them that he was going to appoint Ahmad Aka. Yeah? When former President Koma was in office, he used to summon all political parties, the leaders of political parties, to inform them about the person he intends to appoint in that position. And the political parties now we are left with whether they will support or they will not support. It is true that the president, it is not incumbent on the president to strictly adhere to what the political party may say.
Right.
You understand? But if they have a genuine proof that this person that you intend to appoint is a member of a political party or is a blood relation to the president, then there should be a cause for change. And let me tell you, the spirit behind that clause is to ensure that the president does not have absolute power to appoint who he feels. Because one, the president also is a political actor. His party is contesting in the elections. So the other political parties, the fear of the other political parties must be allayed that the president is not appointing somebody who is coming to say yes sir or to dance to the tune of any political party. That is why he should consult with leaders of political parties before the appointment is made. But in this case, there was no consultation.
The question many have, the arguments many have advanced has to do with, does the Constitution stipulate or clarify what consultation is all about when the president wants to appoint people that the Constitution dictates he must do so after or in consultation with certain groups?
That argument would have been relevant if the president had done something that looks like consultation but is not consultation.
So the letter written does not...
No, that is an appointment letter. That is I can read the content of the letter. It's an appointment letter. So meaning there was no form of consultation. The bone of contention is not whether the consultation in the Constitution is what we expected. There was no form of consultation.
Right.
What we saw written to the heads of political leaders of political party was the appointment letter. And the appointment letter is in no way a form of consultation. He was trying to tell them that he has appointed Lady Mose to serve in that capacity. So that was not consultation. Right. So to say the Constitution should define consultation, because that is when there was a contention as to what the president did was a consultation or not. But what the president did is clearly not a consultation. It was an appointment. If there was any action before the appointment, they would have gone to argue as to whether that action was consultation or not consultation.
All right, let me quickly welcome Honorable Paul Sam of the Coalition for Change. Good evening and welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Samuel.
All right.
My pleasure to be here.
All right. Honorable Indolo Givao, you've had the submission of Honorable Abdul Kabo. The president did not in any way consult with other political parties as dictated by the 1991 Constitution. So in other words, he clearly violated the Constitution of the land.
I refuse to agree with his submission. I will say he's not being generous with the fruit, being economical with it. The president indeed consulted with all the political parties. And on the day that we debated the nominee, the vetting committee, the appointment committee, attached to the report letters written by political parties, let's say, trying to petition the appointment,
right,
or the nomination. And in some of those letters, they stated glaringly that they received communication from the president informing them about the appointment of the nominee. Now, some of the questions that we have to avert our minds to is the very portion that he's read. That portion that he's read, section 33, subsection 2, did not say the president shall share or will share his intention of appointing, or the president shall appoint the nominee in agreement. I mean, there are certain operative words that we have to look at. That section is not saying the president shall inform other political parties of his intention.
Right.
That section is not saying the president shall, in agreement with other heads of political parties, appoint. The section says the president shall appoint a commissioner in consultation or after consultation. And what we are saying, the letter that the president wrote is sufficient evidence of what he did in the form of consulting the other political parties. Now, they have said, yes, they received the letters, and some of them are saying it's not sufficient consultation, or they do not consider it as consultation.
Right.
You've asked a very pertinent question. Did the Constitution define what consultation is? No, the Constitution does not define what consultation was. Now, we have gone ahead during debate. We have defined what consultation is in dictionaries, that it will even include exchange of letters and information. As you see here, Samuel, you can consult your medical doctor via email or Zoom call in America, in Australia, or all over the world if you have a medical condition.
Right.
That doctor is not going to say, because you did not grace his office, sit down and explain your condition to him, you did not consult him. So we have laid those issues bare. Now, we have said to them there are three arms of government. We have the legislature, we have the executive, we have the judiciary. For separation of powers to operate, every arm of government has its own function. What we were expecting these people to have done, they have started murmuring that the consultation that the president did, they did not consider it sufficient. A brilliant lawyer for any party would have gone to even ask the court, not so, to injunct parliament, to prevent that nominee from even appearing before the vetting committee, which is the appointment committee. They didn't do that. The appointment committee, before which the nominee appointed, includes all heads of political parties in parliament. Honorable Kande Yonkela is a head of political party. Honorable is a member. Honorable Aimasin Salamina is a head of C4C, is a member. Honorable Matthew Nyuma is the leader of government business, is a member. Honorable Cherno Majuba is a leader of APC, leader of political party in APC, is a member. So all heads of political parties are members. They went into this appointment committee, they vetted this candidate was being, they scrutinized this candidate. They successfully and unanimously passed this candidate to appear before us in the plenary. There was no minority report.
No objection.
No objection. I did not see a minority report because normally when we go to parliament and there is a divergent view at the committee stage, we normally receive two reports.
Right.
We have a report from the majority that actually said, yes, we in the majority, we are saying this person is a fit and proper person qualified to appear before the plenary, and there is normally a minority report. And most often and again, both reports are read in the plenary before the debate. But on this occasion, only one report was read with all the annexes, all the attachments, okay, the letters written by the political parties, the objection and allegation of corruption, and the investigation done by the leader of government business, and the report thereto from the Anti-Corruption Commission. So we in the ruling government, we are saying sufficient consultation was done.
Right.
He was making mention to past government. Luckily, I have been legal advisor for the Sierra Leone People's Party, say 10 years now. 8 years before this administration came into governance, and a few years thereafter. I was part of the Sierra Leone People's Party delegation that went to State House after His Excellency Ernest Bai Krumah had written a letter to appoint the Eastern Region Electoral Commissioner to appear before Parliament. He had already written this letter appointing the lady is called Fode, something Fode. He had already written this letter to appoint her, and then thereafter asked us to visit him at State House. When we went, the letter of appointment was laid before us, Bia, and he said, I have done this. He did not say his intention. I have appointed this woman to be electoral commissioner. She will be appearing before Parliament. Every office follow precedent.
And so you're saying that's almost the same thing that has just happened. Informing, right.
Every office has precedent. Even the diction used by certain offices are always laid down. The same language it has pleased His Excellency was the same language from the secretary to the president. Then appointing that lady Fode to be commissioner representing the East. The only difference there was after His Excellency Ernest Bai Krumah then appointed this lady, he used his own style to invite us to State House.
As a form of consultation?
As a form, no, not as a form of consultation. We went to discuss several other things amongst that one.
Okay.
We did not only go to discuss Lady Fode. It was during that appointment that he told us, I hope you guys have received the letter appointing Lady Fode in the position as commissioner for Eastern Province. We did not even discuss it.
So it's precedent?
Yes. So he is not saying, he did not share his intention with us. He did not call us to seek our opinion. He did not call us together with other political party members. He called us to discuss other sensitive political issues at State House in the conference room. I was there. the late Honorable Foya was here with 3 other people. Okay, I mean, I went there as an SLPP legal advisor.
Yeah.
So this hue and cry is something I honestly cannot understand.
Let me bring in Honorable Paul Sam. I mean, it's critical that the Constitution did not say what the form of consultation, what form should the consultation take place, happen. And Honorable Indulu Gevao has submitted that consultation was done. Letters were sent to the different political players. Honorable Abdul Kagwe is saying the letters that were sent, they did not speak to sharing the intention or the view. It was just informing them of the appointments made by the president. Now, you, though you have a divided house as a political party in parliament, but you are one of those who walked out, who felt that the decision, I mean, it's not okay. So give us your view.
First of all, I want to thank you, Samuel, and the legal man from the SLPP and also a colleague. We have to be very much serious with our conscience and the people of this country when it comes in terms of the issue of the Constitution, which is a ground norm, and we believe even the president is in power because of the Constitution, and that Constitution has to be maintained. I want to, first of all, defy a little bit from what he is saying, that for the past 10 years, there was not a woman that was appointed by the president to become a commissioner for the East. Commissioner Matia, who has served for over 10 years in that position, left, I think, last year, and he was replaced. So to say a woman was appointed by the president, the past president, the former president, to office of the commissioner of NEC, that one was not true. That statement is not true. So I want to just lay that one very clear, that Commissioner Matia was in that position for the past 10 years. The issue of consultation, when you read, of course, I want to believe that my colleague here from the APC read that portion of the Constitution, subsection 3 of section 32, that members of the Electoral Commission shall be appointed by the president after consultation. Of course, I was in the appointment committee for the past 3 years. Last year, I was deposed out of that position. We had the issue of consultation specifically for certain constitutional appointments. That tells you about the NEC commissioner. Of course, the one for the NEC boss, there were some amount of consultation. And the issue, the walkout that happens that day was different from this one. There were consultation, but because they look at the integrity of the NEC boss, that is why the opposition parties walk out. In this case, there were no consultation. And the consultation supposed to proceed before appointment. The letters that were sent to leaders of political party was an appointment letter. That is, I have appointed Madam Umu Mose to be the commissioner for the West. So that does not determine the issue of consultation. And in the Constitution, it's very clear that before you call them, you call leaders of political parties, they can go against your nomination by providing some kind of active movement or in the well of parliament. But when consultation is done and they walk out of parliament, that it means the credibility of that particular nominee is at stake. But this issue of Umu Mose is not about its credibility. They look at consultation. Because out of the 17, we have 17 political parties in parliament, in this country, 17 political parties. And 4 of those parties were informed by the president. That it means consultation. Those who wrote letters to president or even to parliament to ascertain that we are informed, we are consulted. But the same letter that was given to them, they replied to that. But when you look at also 13 of those political parties who actually go against. One of them also, when you look at the UDM, is it the UDM? The party for Kamereba.
ADP.
Even the president acting leader of that particular political party was imposed by PPRC, which is not good. Which is not, it has to come either from court if there are issues.
All right.
It was imposed by...
Let me ask you this question. The grounds you are holding consultation. Now, according to my understanding, I mean, all three of you can correct me. According to my understanding, the president does not necessarily have to listen to what you're going to say. Say if you're going to oppose Zainab, if even the president had called all of you guys, come and sit, and the president consult with you, and you, I mean, would have told the president, Mr. President, no, we are opposed to this, the president would have still gone ahead with the appointment. So should that really be a problem? Because at the end of the day, even when you would have made submissions, even if he had called you guys to sit on the table and make, I mean, you make those submissions, then he would look you to your face and say, no, I'm still going ahead with my appointment.
Samuel, the writers of those constitutions must have something at the back of their mind to say the appointment of commissioners for NEC the president has to consult the political parties, because these are people who determine the elections. They are going to manage the entire electionary process. So that is why the writers of those constitutions say president should first of all consult political parties before the appointment. So they must have something in mind, because all political parties, they are institutions that actually we need to maintain the credibility of them. Number one, when you look at the PPRC, because they are also regulating the issue of political parties, NEC is there to conduct elections. And in recent times, we see some electoral malpractice. We see some people who are vandalizing electoral materials. And next, also take some stringent measures to cancel most of those, cancel elections and cancel boxes. So if somebody that is going to occupy that particular position has to be in consultation, maybe the political parties will give their own view to president. That Mr. President, yes, this is true. This person has all what it takes. He has a qualification, he has this and this. But this, you have to be mindful of that.
I mean, without actually usurping the powers of the president for the purpose of this conversation, Honorable Abdul Kabu, outside the consultation aspect of Zainab, what do you make, I mean, as a political party in parliament, what do you make of her appointment? Is she, I mean, fit for purpose?
Well, that is the reason for which the consultation should have been done. Yeah, let me first read. Thank you, my brother, for telling Honorable Guevara that there has never been a female commissioner in the East for the past 10 years. So the assertion that he has made here is not correct. Yeah, and quite apart from that, let me read the letter the president sent to all political leaders. It says, letter appointment as electoral commissioner, Western Region. See the heading, appointment as electoral commissioner, Western Region. I write to inform you that it has pleased His Excellency, the President, to appoint Mrs. Zainab Mosire as electoral commissioner, Western Region. Please bring this to the attention of the chairman, leader of the National Grand Coalition. This is the letter sent to NGC. Yeah? So meaning, they were saying, the president was saying, I have already appointed Zainab. Tell your leader, bring it to the attention of your leader that this appointment has been made. You have read the heading, which is appointment as electoral commissioner, which is the same heading for every other appointment the president has made. Appointment as minister of this, appointment. Yeah. So this is clearly a letter of appointment sent to the political parties, telling them to inform their leader that the president has already made this appointment. Now our bone of contention. In fact, before I go to our bone of contention, let me just go over some of what Mr. Honorable Guevara said that I'm not correct. Firstly, he said there are letters attached to the report that was read in Parliament, and some of those letters were against the appointment of the commissioner. I want to say the letters attached to the report were all in support.
Can you please?
I'm coming.
No. When you want to quote somebody, quote exactly what he says.
What did you say, sir? I'll give you time. What did you say?
I did say letters were attached to the report. And the content of those letters, those political parties accepted that
they were in total support.
They were, in fact, they received letters from the secretary, from the president, informing them
of the appointments.
I have just read the letters they gave you.
No, you are trying to quote me.
No,
so
you said there were political parties who expressed resentment on the appointment, and their letters were attached to the report that was read in Parliament.
No.
Okay, let me don't waste time.
So for the purpose of clarity, for the purpose of clarity, Honorable Indolo Gevao mentioned or submitted that, I mean, when Zainab was going through the appointment committee stage, there was no, contract
Again,
report.
that is not correct. That is not correct also.
It's just 5.
That is not correct.
Was there a minority report?
No, minority report is not statutory.
No.
Minority report is not statutory.
I'm sure.
It's just a matter of precedent. I was there. The former director of committees.
Certain things straight.
No, the former director of committees. The former director of committees, who is a late person now, Kwagbanda, made mention of minority report at one time when they were resenting views in the issue of the commissioners. And it brought an issue. He told us in the committee that in 1998 there was such an issue here, but the opposing side wrote a kind of a minority report.
Okay.
But it's not statutory. It's not in our standing order. It's not in the constitution.
Let me land.
Abukagbo, please.
Okay.
I want to challenge the two of you that in the lifetime of this parliament, while the three of us are parliamentarians, there has been a situation in parliament where there was a majority report and a minority report, both filed in parliament.
That is what I'm telling you. But
when you're saying they passed the deceased or the past director made reference.
Yes.
I am saying in our lifetime we had seen that one, and he has acquiesced to that.
Yes.
That is why I told you about the human rights commissioners, the issue of the human rights commissioners.
When there is dissension in the committee, there's a majority report and a minority report, both filed in the plenary. That is my point I was trying to make.
But I also said it is not statutory.
No,
where can you find that one in the standing orders?
I am not saying whether it is statutory or not, but by our practice in the lifetime of this parliament, the 5th parliament, we've seen a situation where the committee has filed both a majority report and a minority report, going to the fact that at the committee stage there was dissension of views, and in this occasion it didn't happen.
Okay,
let's accept that one.
Let me. You see, the truth will always prevail. You know, Mr. Honorable Gevao wants to present to the public that there was unanimity in the committee stage. But I want to put it to him that there was no unanimity. Voting did take place. 6 voted for, 5 voted against. That is what I want to make crystal clear. It did not state that. It presented a picture that there was unanimity, that everybody supported. But that is not the case. Whether there was a majority or a minority report, the report that was read from the Committee of Appointment in Parliament clearly stated that 6 people voted for and 5 people voted against at committee stage. Yeah? So that is clear. And also, it did say that we were arguing that there was not sufficient consultation. That is not the case also. We are saying there was no element of consultation. Not a single element.
Whatsoever.
No element of consultation. What was done was a letter of appointment written. And before you reach that stage to write a letter of appointment, you had to inform political parties. Yeah? I agree that the president will not be subjected. In fact, it depends on the veracity of their argument. Yeah? You cannot tell political parties that you want to appoint Honorable Abukagbo to be the commissioner, you understand? And they present to the president my identity card, my political party identity card, and you expect the president to still go ahead with I'm coming.
I want you to help
I'm coming.
Just a question.
I'm coming.
Can you help this panel with the letter of appointment of the commissioner?
I have read it.
No.
Were you not here?
No. Let us look at this argument from an academic point of view. That letter that you've written, to whom was it addressed?
To political parties, informing them of the appointment.
Fine. Listen. It is not addressed to the nominee. It is not addressed to the appointee. No, we all went to school. We are all academics. If you read a letter just in this studio, I mean, that letter is not the letter of appointment of the appointee or of the commissioner now. Now read the letter of the appointment, dear Miss or Mrs. So. It has pleased His Excellency to appoint you. Read that letter. Tell the public the date of that letter and the date of this letter that you've read. And let us analyze the diction in that letter and the diction in the letter.
Are you done?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Let me make this clear to you. All of the commissioners that have been appointed by the president only receive one letter. And this is the appointment letter they send to political parties.
The letter going to the appointee.
Yes. It's the same letter.
I beg to differ. You cannot appoint somebody by addressing that letter to political parties.
It might be right at some extent. I've been
to submit.
I've been
because
in the
you might be
no, not that one.
I've been in the appointment committee
for the public to benefit.
I've been in the appointment committee. Letters that are written to the appointees is different from this one now.
Right.
That one is clear.
Okay, now I'm coming. Don't hold it there.
Why?
Let me just tell you, please. Because when
you
we
are
come,
eating into my time.
You get your time. When we come before the public, we have to be academic and we have to do things with self-explanatory techniques. When you read that letter, and if you read the letter to the nominee, I will tell you the diction and the content is different.
So in essence, you're submitting that this letter was done in the form of consultation.
Yes.
Well, no, but when you look at this one, subsection 2, subsection 3 of section 32 of the Constitution is different. It said before the appointment, but this letter is the appointment.
That's why I'm asking.
No, it said I have appointed.
We'll come to that. Let's allow me,
please.
Go ahead. Make your submission. Make your submission.
You know, I'm happy that Honorable Gevao is very insistent that our argument should be academic. I wholeheartedly agree. Yeah? What is consultation? Consultation is discussing with somebody before a decision is taken. Discussing with somebody about something before a decision is taken. Meaning before you appoint.
Is that the context in the Constitution?
No, I'm saying because listen. The Constitution is saying.
Yeah, obviously that's
no, listen. The Constitution is saying you must consult before you appoint.
Exactly.
So the Constitution is saying any letter carrying appointment must be preceded by consultation. Any letter carrying the title appointment must be preceded by consultation.
Right.
You understand? So you cannot write to political parties informing them that you have already appointed and you say that is consultation.
Right.
That is in no way consultation. It's in no way consultation because it bears the title appointment, and the Constitution is insistent that before the title appointment you must have consulted.
Correct.
That is our argument. So you cannot say I appoint Madam so to be the commissioner, and you refer to that letter as consultation.
Respond to this. If I'm getting Honorable Indolo submissions right, he is saying the letter of appointment goes directly to the appointee, and that letter did go to the appointee after this letter had gone out to you, the political party. So this was a form of consulting you, the political parties.
I wish Honorable Gevao would have produced the letter he's referring to, which none of us have seen. But we are saying the letter sent to political parties was in no way meant to seek seek their consent. I'm coming. It's in no way meant to consult with them. The letter sent to political party was deliberately to inform them about the appointment. It was an appointment letter. You have read the title. You've read the title of the letter. Appointment as chief as commissioner. You understand? Yeah. So it's an appointment letter. So what we are saying, the Constitution is very clear. Before you appoint, you must consult. You should consult after, if you appoint after consultation. So our argument is, something must happen before you write a letter that bears the title appointment.
So you still hold that the president breached the Constitution?
Of course, yes. It's clear. You understand? And it's clear. I have not landed on a...
Please.
I have not, when you talk, I don't interrupt. You know. and I believe I should have, I should enjoy the same thing. You understand? We are saying, let me tell you the essence. You see, Honorable Guevara is underestimating the essence of this consultation. I have told you that President Kaba, late President Kaba, wanted to appoint Ahmed Aka as Chief Electoral Commissioner. President Kaba did not in any way write any letter stating that a letter of appointment bearing the name of Ahmed Aka. What it did was to consult first with political parties by inviting them to a meeting. After the consultation with political parties had to show President the political party ID card of Ahmed Aka, stating that he is a member of SLPP. So for that reason, the letter from the president did not come with the name of Ahmed Aka. So what the president did, he changed the nominee to Christina Thorpe. And the only letter that came from State House, from the president, beared the name of Christina Thorpe. You cannot appoint Ahmed Aka. If the president had appointed Ahmed Aka and sent it to the political parties, and the president was saying it was consultation, it means the president was going to write another letter if they had bone of contention with that one.
So, Given, let me ask this question now. You participated in the debate, but you walked out during the voting process. Why did you walk out?
I will tell you. Yeah? Parliament, the voting of parliament does not make what is illegitimate legitimate.
How?
That is what I'm saying. Like, for example, if Parliament says for Honorable Paul Sam to be appointed as the head of NRA, he must have had 5 years experience in the field. If the Constitution says that. And he has only 4 years experience, and he is taken to Parliament for us to vote for him. That is a breach of the Constitution, because he does not have the 5 years experience as stated in the Constitution. So if we participate in the voting process, it means we are lending credence to the illegality of his appointment. You understand? So us abstaining is to clearly inform the public that we would not take part in any breach of the Constitution. Had we voted, it means we are also parties to go against
even
the
if you had voted against the approval?
Yes. It means...
Would that not have meant that, okay, these guys stood for the Constitution?
No. Let me make this clear again. Yeah? The voting of Parliament does not make what is wrong in the Constitution right. It does not make what is wrong in the Constitution right. If the Constitution clearly states that you must consult, and you didn't consult, and we went again as members of Parliament and voted, you understand, as the case was, we voted, it means we agreed that the president was right, you understand, for the appointment, you understand, but we are against the candidates to say, you understand. So we are saying that question must not be put to the House, you understand, because there is a breach of the Constitution. So that topic should not have even reached Parliament.
Honorable Paul Sam, just quickly, you said you've been in the appointment committee. And from what the head of government business submitted, that all the concerns that were raised against the appointee, those concerns were clarified, and it was okay for her to go ahead and be approved. So what's your concern at this point, especially when the appointment committee, according to what was submitted by the leader of government business, okayed Zainab?
Yes, at some extent, when you look at the letter sent by ACC to Parliament, because the leader of government business wrote a letter to ACC to give Parliament a kind of a security for the approval of Zainab Mosie. Before going to that, when you asked Honorable Abdul Kabu about why we are in Parliament, we debated. There were other nominees. We have about 6 nominees that day, and that is why after their own passing, then for Zainab, members of Parliament walk out, those that are against that particular nominee. Of course, the issue of the letters, let's go back to the ACC. Normally, when ACC is investigating issues of public officials, they make it public. We are investigating this official in this particular MDA. And after that, report must be out. But that the report of Umu was not out to public, not until when the leader of government business wrote for kind of clarity. And then they replied. So when that investigation was concluded at ACC, that's also another ball game for ACC, for the people of this country to look at this one also. Secondly, those political parties who ascertain, like the 4 political parties that were mentioned in the Well of Parliament, they also carry the same letter. They say, we agreed to what the president and he has consulted us. In fact,
exactly, because I was going to that.
We saw
especially
so many banners.
All political parties
we
association.
saw so many banners from, you know, the issue of APA and COP these days is also another serious issue for the people of this country, because politicians, like all of us sitting here, we are actually confusing, you know, the people of this country. We have not been honest to the people of this country, based on we bring issues today of this essence, and tomorrow we bring another issue. It's a very serious problem. If we are actually serious with our conscience to actually serve this country, consultation, peace, you bring your colleagues together. This is what I want to do. This person I want to appoint him. Just inform him. Constitution don't say the opposition party should give him a precedent to say, no, don't do this. No. It is the prerogative of the president to do the appointment. But before the appointment, he needs to consult the political parties. Just that.
It's interesting. Yes, you can come in.
Sam, I want to address certain sensitive issue, and I'm coming back to the letter. You see, my training, they teach us to think outside the box. He's an engineer. He's an
we think more outside the box.
Educationist. My training, we are taught to think outside the box. And I have done that one for like 19 years now. I'll come back to my brother. He has a letter on him. The letter is written to political parties. I am challenging him that that letter is not the letter of appointment. I had wanted him to bring out the letter of appointment for us to see which one precedes which.
I think we have clarified that.
No. Please let me.
I have clarified that.
If it comes out there that this letter precedes the actual letter of appointment to the appointee, then this letter is a letter communicating the decision of the president to appoint the nominee. The Constitution is not saying the president shall share his intention of appointing the nominee with other political party members. The Constitution is not saying the president, in agreement with other political party members, shall appoint the appointee. The Constitution is saying the president shall appoint the commissioner after consultation. The word after is what even Honorable Kande Yonkala was insisting on. None of them was able to actually bring out the letter of appointment, which was before the committee, because the nominee normally files his or her letter of appointment to the committee. Right. They should have brought that one out, compare the date of that appointment to the date of the letter that went out to the political parties. Were they expecting the president to have couched his language to say, it has pleased me to express my intention to appoint the nominee? I mean, he will be reducing his powers.
Can you read this?
I am waiting for him. I don't want to interrupt him. He told
them, it has pleased His Excellency, to appoint. Not so. So it is left with anybody to now look at the 2 days, which one precedes which. Because that letter is addressed to all.
No, let me make this clarification.
No, please let me.
You have had enough time.
No, please let me.
You have interjected several occasions. And kindly I have allowed you.
You've argued a lot. He's argued a lot.
But why don't you
allow me to make my point when I make a complete point?
I have been talking and you have interjected.
When I make a complete point.
Kindly I have allowed you.
Someone, can you please allow just to read this letter?
I don't want him to punish himself. I don't want him to punish himself.
Note it. Okay, so other political parties came forward to say, yes, we were consulted. They know that one. He's been very candid, very honest.
You always get those political parties.
Yes, we were consulted.
You will always get them.
Now,
the political parties you give
parties that
money to
wrote
go
to
and
the
accept.
appointment committee to say they do not consider the communications to them as consultation, acquiesce to the fact that letters were written to them. And one thing that they are not understanding, even with the judges of the Supreme Court, for them to reach to a decision, they have to use several canons of interpretation. What you consider A, another judge will consider as not A. So that is why we told them the only institution in Sierra Leone that has the constitutional mandate to interpret this constitution is the Supreme Court. They have original jurisdiction under Section 124 of this constitution to interpret the constitution, not the High Court, not the APC Court, but the Supreme Court. If we've been having problems, like he rightly mentioned,
I will tell you why people always refer us to the court. If we have been having problems, like he rightly mentioned about consultation, since the appointment of the Chief Electoral Commissioner, why did any Sierra Leonean or a politician go to the Supreme Court so that we can interpret this law and lay it to bear? Honorable Kande Yomkela, who voluntarily, for one reason or the other, followed them, and they are saying they do not have confidence in the judiciary, just won a landmark case in the judiciary. A landmark case filed against him by the All People's Congress before he ran for the presidential election. That case has nothing to do with this argument.
No, we are just trying to actually reiterate about the independence of the judiciary.
Yes.
Now my colleague was saying
about a judiciary that is independent.
My colleague
I
was
guess
saying,
you read the report of the EU observers.
My colleague,
you read their report.
I don't know whether that is official or unofficial.
You would
I
not
am
know.
not a WhatsApp,
You would not know.
I am not a WhatsApp
You would not
person.
know.
My colleague was saying
you would not know.
Anti-corruption commissioners, when they undertake investigation, they make it public. I beg to differ. I practice criminal law.
He's getting all the time. He's getting all the time. When I begin to talk, you will interject.
It is not every investigation that anti-corruption undertakes that they call a press conference. Not all. There are certain sensitive ones, certain landmark ones. Yes, I agree with you. I have defended several people in court whose investigation was not made public, who were charged to court. Let's say the EDSA matter that I'm I'm defending right now. When they initiated the investigation, nobody knew of it, but when they charged them, people knew of it. I mean, when we come and we are in public, let us hold institutions.
So how the political parties made you understand the issue of Zainab Mosire?
How did the political...
Yes.
Anti-Corruption Commission is a public office.
So that is what I...
Yes, you can walk there, just like the office of the Registrar and Administrator and Registrar General. You can walk there, and under the Freedom of Information Bill, you can ask for information, and you can get it.
Right.
So if the Anti-Corruption Commission has written a letter, in reply to the letter written to them by Parliament, to say they have investigated and concluded the investigation of Zainab, and they have seen nothing, on him. They have seen no filth on him. They have seen no reason why they should charge her. I think Parliament should take it.
All right.
Because the ACC is a credible institution that is doing a good job. We shouldn't question that.
We've got different sides, but let me hear your submission briefly, because we need to bring in our viewers. The judges.
Yes, again, Honorable Gevao did say his cause taught him to think outside the box. I don't believe there is any course in the university that will teach you to think inside the box. Of course, engineering, it's from Bay College, it's the only course that you do for 5 years. It's the only course in Bay College you do for 5 years before you graduate. Yeah? And quite apart of that, the Constitution is clear. It says, after consultation, you make your appointment. So the word appointment should exist only after consultation. The word appointment should exist only after consultation.
So you would have accepted this letter as a form of consultation without the word appointment?
Yeah, because the appointment has already been done.
Yeah,
he said, let me read the letter again for his edification. Yeah? The letter is saying, appointment as Electoral Commissioner, Western Region. I write to inform you that it has pleased His Excellency, the President, to appoint Mrs. Zainab Mosire as Electoral Commissioner Western Area. Tell me that this content is different from other appointments the president has made.
Yes.
Even when he appoints ministers, this is the same wording. It has pleased the president.
Yeah, the wording is.
No, yes.
It's just a matter of the address. It's just the address.
I will not allow you this time.
Yes.
I wanted to interject. You did not allow me. I will not allow you. Allow me to land. Yes, allow me to land. Yes. So this clearly shows that no consultation, and I have told you the essence of consultation. When you consult with person, you listen from the feedback from the person.
No, sir.
It is not incumbent on you to strictly follow the feedback from the person. Yeah? I could remember somebody told me that I want us, my wife and I, to serve as godparents, you know, in their wedding. I told the person, I am going to consult with my wife. I asked my wife, she said, let's carry on. And I went and gave my word to the person.
After consulting.
But I could not just say, we are serving. I write to my wife that, I tell my wife that we are serving as godparent to this person. Then I say, bam, it's consultation. It's not. It's not. It's a two-way thing. And the president is not forced to be subjected to what the other political parties may say, except if the veracity of their claim was great, as it happened in the case of the former president, Ahmad Tijan Kaba, that they had to produce party identity card of the candidate.
Let me ask this question to all, especially to the two of you. Does this have any ripple? The fact that you're saying the president has acted unconstitutionally, and now you have Zainab serving as the Western Region chairperson for the National Electoral Commission. Does it have any ripple to the conduct or to the entire conduct of NEC, for example?
It has far-reaching implications. Not even for the current president. Yeah, any president who comes now may even appoint his or her cousin to serve as commissioner, because the president would not consult with political parties. The president will just write a letter to the political parties that I have appointed Mr. This Kabo to serve as the commissioner, Western Region. Yeah. And the political parties will not have an opportunity to give in their say to the appointment. Yeah? In this, if this stands, it means whosoever will become president in the future will have the opportunity to even appoint their executive member in their political party to serve as commissioner. You need to have a say, the say of other political parties, because they are the moral guarantor. They are the people who are also players in the game. So if you are choosing a ref, you should have a say from them. That is the essence of the consultation. But without this consultation, it means any other president is at liberty to make any appointment, write the political parties, take the candidate to parliament because he knows he has the majority in parliament by virtue of court decision, and they pass.
All right. Let me just quickly hear from Honorable.
Yes, I think
what are the fears?
The fears are, number one, when you look at also if there are problems during the elections we are facing now in 2023, we'll go back to the records in Parliament that the opposition parties stood firm against the appointment of this particular NEC commissioner for the Northwest, and also there are some certain laws in our constitution that do not need precedent, like of such, in the issue of an appointment of a NEC commissioner.
There has not been any precedent of this nature.
There has not been any precedent.
Thank you.
That kind of precedent will also have a ripple effect. When successive government will come, it will sit back and just appoint anybody and just write letters to political parties and say, this is what I have done.
Cut you. Just
it's
1
very,
minute.
very much
just you knew I gave you 1 minute. So you have to give me answer. Let me tell you, do you know why we should be very careful with the appointment of NEC officials? Recently, we have had instances in which NEC officials have been caught changing figures. In Tale Center. You agree with me that NEC had to change one of their staff at the Koinadugu Tale Center for tampering with figures. You understand? And even the result of the 115 elections, 49 was changed to 149. So if tensions are flying out, if political parties are very curious to know the candidate before ever he or she is appointed, it's because of the credibility of NEC.
You know, let me tell you, my brother Gevao is here to defend the government or the present government is
That
just
is his
because
job.
the conscience is conscience. Because I knew the man that is sitting here, his conscience is being flagged since atomic
Tell us outside.
Let me tell you.
He's
It's just
These guys know me.
He's
These men know
fighting
me
for
to
symbol.
be a man full of integrity.
Give up.
And I am putting forward my arguments because all of those who walked out,
Just
with all
argue, forget
respect
about
to
the
them,
integrity,
they
just argue.
actually missed the point. If they had taken their time to actually delve into the sequence of these letters, I am sure they would not have walked out. But let me take you down. Let me take you down memory lane.
That is not our issue. That is not our issue. Our issue has always been the heading appointment.
Memory lane 2006, 2007, the then Chief Electoral Commissioner nullified elections of the whole district without any instrument, no legal instrument. The whole district result was nullified. Okay, the result was accepted. Going forward, that same Chief Electoral Commissioner, the blue eyeball of that administration, was brought forward again for reappointment and approval. Okay, the Sierra Leone People's Party had serious issues with her simply because they believe what she did was wrong, and when matters was taken to court, for one reason or the other, because of legal blunders, I will say, the papers were thrown out. We never had the opportunity to go into full-blown trial. We did not go castigating the judiciary. We did not. Now, Christiana Top still went ahead to conduct the other elections, even though the Sierra Leone People's Party walked out of her approval. They didn't walk out of her approval. They had all fears. But be that as it may, they went into the 2012 elections. We had so many issues wherein even my learned senior Charles Magai and his family went to vote at one police station, and they were 6 in number, and even his own vote was not counted.
You are still
so
missing
when you ask the question, what are their
I
fears?
was expecting
We had said to them, their fears are that, like their leader of opposition said, that it is alleged that this nominee's parents are Sierra Leone People's Party. We have never seen a wife being arrested because the husband committed an offense. I was really taken aback by that argument. Because my father is APC does not make me APC. So we have told them the Sierra Leone People's Party does not need any commissioner to win an election. They appointed their Chief Electoral Commissioner, all of their commissioners. We defeated them at the polls.
Now, this
we believe in the people and the vote.
Let me help you.
Anybody who believes in himself should not hold on an tenuous rope to bring arguments that we call in local and dragman points. When you brought point playing to the gallery, they know they don't have an issue.
No. Nobody was playing to the gallery.
You don't have an issue.
Because the Constitution has the issue. We need to maintain the Constitution.
Why are you forcing people to go to court?
Review it, even when you spend billions of euros on the Constitution, and I was on the Constitutional Review Committee.
Honorable Gaba, you have all the powers now to review that Constitution.
You people knew the Constitution had issues. You put in billions of euros in the review because it did not go in your favor. You threw it in the dustbin.
Are you done?
Yes,
somewhere, I think Honorable Gaba is skewing the discussion here. He's skewing the debate. Honorable Gaba, you are skewing the debate.
No, I am not.
You are skewing the debate.
I am not.
He brought in the incident of Christiana Thorpe. You understand? He said Christiana Thorpe was taken back to Parliament after she has conducted an election. I was expecting him to have said Christiana Thorpe was taken to Parliament for approval without consultation with political parties.
No,
let me learn. You did not allow me when I was talking. I am not going to allow you. You did not allow me.
When you don't understand the question of the moderator, when you don't understand the question of the moderator,
you laugh about it.
I have to
We are seated there. You laugh about it.
The question of the moderator.
He did not ask me a question.
Ask me a question. I am answering the question of
You brought in an instance to equate it to what happens.
The issues do not have to be an ipsissima verbal. then the issue was different. His questions was,
your answer is what I am referring to. You don't have an instance.
It did not say fears. It said if there is going to be a kind of ripple effect tomorrow, that was what we are talking about. Ripple effect, because there are going to be problems tomorrow when successive government is going to be in power in the country. That's how you should.
I'm going to all of you. I'm going to all of you.
Let me don't need the commissioner to defeat you.
Honorable members, please,
Honorable Gebau, I think we are in Parliament. You are swearing in to uphold a constitution.
Okay. And you know that is what I always say.
And that should be a constitution. And that is the constitution you are repeating.
All right. Let's bring it out and our listeners into the conversation.
You don't need to play with
the number to call is 030-622-766.
It does not have one incident
622-766.
Any government in this country.
Here's a comment. Particularly saying,
32-3.
just need to lay it out there. Working out on such important stuff on that day was a bit childish. Such stance should have been argued about what are the advantages of walking out? Let's start with putting our point across and follow due processes. Two wrongs can't, won't, and will never make right. All right, let's get to listen to our callers. Good evening, AYV on Sunday.
They voted against that commission.
Gentlemen, honorable members, let's get to listen to our callers. Yes, sir, go ahead. Your name and where you're calling us from?
The caller from the place.
Go ahead.
Well, I'm very, very happy for this topic. This
Right.
is the problem I do have with some so-called civil society that are receiving money on behalf of the people of Sierra Leone, and they are not doing their job. We have seen when similar situations to elections, whether it was a nomination of MEC officials or any other election, we know certain civil society that were very, very vibrant 5-6 years back. But when it has come to the SLPP, they are now silent. You can't hear them. Mr. Gebau, we are all landed people. We don't need to be lawyers for us to know that the letter is appointment. Write a letter inviting them to discuss the appointments of the Western Commissioner. Simple.
Very intelligent of you.
All right.
Appointment. You are wrong, it's wrong. There is no school, there is no lecture, and there is nowhere you can defend it from. If it was a mistake, this is the problem with the SLPP. If you did a mistake, come out clear and say it.
All right.
It's a mistake.
Okay.
All of us do mistake.
All right.
I'm really having a problem with some of this society.
Thank you. They are not here now. They are not here now. We're going to give a minute to caller each, please. Good evening, AYV on Sunday.
I'm live from the attack.
Go ahead.
Yeah, this is not the honorable Bao. I want to ask one, the meaning of consultation, because like the political parties, they don't get power for overturn the decision of the president. But like the president get duty for consult them. So the me ask the word now consultation, what do you mean by in your language as a lawyer?
All right.
Then secondly, to the opposition leader then, I want to know if like this, what in them get paper way tangible for so to the people apart of this word where they hold on to consultation. What in them get paper against the lady in question? I want to know.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Good evening, AYV on Sunday.
Yes, Samuel, good evening.
Yeah.
I'm Brahima, calling you from Freetown.
Go ahead.
You know, this issue is really very clear, but because of our political condition in Sierra Leone, people are actually downplaying the issue. You know, the issue of consultation, it's very much clear. Even if you're a kindergarten pupil, you should be able to understand what consultation is. But because of the position they are at the moment, which is the ruling government, they've tried to skew the definition of consultation. To me, this is very clear. You know, I think what they should have done in order to continue to unify this country is to call the opposition members to ensuring that they inform them about this appointment, regardless of what they say, as long as, of course, the president knows that the decision of or whatever thing that will be profiled by the opposition will not matter to them. But as long as they've gone through the process.
Right.
But now what is bringing all of this issue is because they've not been able to go to do the right thing. I think
Thank you.
be bold enough at this point to
Thank you.
come to take the right thing.
Thank you very much. Good evening, AYV on Sunday. Hello, caller. All right, I'm afraid I would have to drop that call. If you want to be part of the conversation, please move away from your TV or radio set. Please stay away from your TV or radio set so that we can have a very good conversation. Would accommodate at most 5 more calls. Good evening, AYV on Sunday.
Good evening.
Yeah, your name and where calling us from?
I'm Tamba. I'm calling from Leicester Road.
Go ahead, Tamba.
Yeah. My own point here is I had expected that the opposition and honorable guys would have brought in previous consultation letters that were written to oppositions then. For instance, during the days of recent past governments, APC, during the time that the president had to appoint certain key stakeholders, let us see the structure in which the letters were written and what were the languages used therein. Then we will be fully convinced that the current government is doing something different. But we have realized that in recent past, they are only blowing things out of proportion. They will look at just a very single issue and blow it out of proportion. Let us look at tangible issues. Let them bring out tangible evidences that will clearly tell us that the current government is doing something different from what has been done.
All right.
If the general governance has not been correct, then let us correct it together as Sierra Leoneans.
Thank you.
But let us not blow things out of proportion for our own political interest.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello.
Yes, good evening, Samuel.
Good evening. Your name and where calling us from?
Ivan Freetown.
Go ahead, Ivan.
In law, we have what we call the spirit of the law. The drafters of the Constitution did not just talk about consultation just for the sake of it. They deliberately inserted consultation because they know the commissioner is going to be a referee of which the president himself is going to be a player. And in consulting, the president may not agree with all the views, but at least he has to listen to the other side. That was why consultation was used. If according to what he's presenting, the Constitution would have said the president must inform. What the president did is he informed political parties. He did not consult with them. And these people have a way of twisting the language as if people are fools. They are presiding over a population of fools who are not educated. We are all educated. We can interpret literal meanings of the Constitution without having to be a lawyer.
Thank you, my brother.
Thank you.
Thank you, Samuel.
Thank you. Good evening, AYV on Sunday. 2 more calls. All right. Thank you for dropping the call yourself. Good evening, AYV on Sunday.
Yeah, good evening, Samuel.
Yeah, your name and where calling us
I
from.
hear somebody they talk about, say, they want to see the previous letter. When I had the opportunity this time for the SLPP, they produce them. They tell me they consult them for other commissioners. They let them produce them now.
All
Then we
right.
compare.
All right.
So
That question is answered.
The SLPP, they feel say, when they make mistake, they don't come out and say them.
Okay.
We are all humans. If they make mistake, say this one are the mistake. Give out the try for the analogy. Let me look at the date where they serve the appointment letter with the date where they send and it don't make any sense because on the letter we precede the appointment when they claim so. Now appointment rightly. And then they cut the posting name when they don't make that point.
All right.
So it not even make I don't even doubt Mr. The man with the talk is being a lawyer. They don't state only.
Interesting. Hello? All right.
Hello.
Hello. All right. Last caller. Good evening, AYV on Sunday.
Hello.
Go ahead, sir.
My name is Mr. Khan from Juba.
Go ahead.
And I just want to know if a president of any country, you want appoint somebody, or you want like take back inside any work inside for the country. You will consult the opposition party, okay, we are a big, around a constitutional body. That is inside the constitution.
All right, they would answer, yeah. They will answer you. Interesting. Interesting. Quite a views. I mean, quite a view there. But let's me run through few on Facebook. Toad Camara is saying SLPP think by hiring next staff in their favor will grant them 2023 election. The ordinary person in Sierra Leone is gravely concerned with economic and political problems in our nation. Ibrahim Jakema is saying SLPP walked out of parliament during Christiana Thorpe nomination, but Madam Thorpe still conducts the elections. So APC walking out of parliament has no relevance in the election. If APC want, let them boycott the next general election. Sadhu Swari is saying, I will continue saying this. The 1991 Constitution is undemocratic. It has so many loopholes. Using it in a democratic dispensation will continue to undermine good governance architecture. About time we review the 1991 Constitution, otherwise our lawmakers will continue to be at loggerheads with one another when dealing with some caustic democratic processes. Let me see if I can accommodate 3 more international callers. Hello, good evening. Hello.
Hello?
You are on, sir. Your name and where you calling us from?
Mohammed Ali, calling from London.
Please be audible.
Yeah, Mohammed Ali, calling from London.
Go ahead.
Thank you for accepting the call. And also you talk to the last caller was I think final number. Yeah, thank you for accepting the call. Yeah, this program is very, very important. I wish we don't do that Creole, so the people understand on call. Therefore, don't know the importance of this program. Very, very important.
Quickly to your point.
In English. Yeah, all I do in English. That's what for calling. We explain it back in Creole because this topic.
I know it's important, but we do not have time. Good evening, AYV on Sunday. Hello.
Hello, Samuel.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, Samuel.
Good evening.
Thank you for letting you will allow me for that to talk.
I know you're calling from Germany, but please state your name.
Okay. Mina Mohammed, I call from Germany.
Go ahead.
Hello? Yeah. See, some of them we honorable they are not honest to the citizens of this country. You understand? One, then English when they can translate the constitution they make. You understand? These common citizens they understand. 2. Mr. Givao, I hope say you know honesty in conscience to wait till they talk, you able put himself according to this night. You understand? You know, this is a very simple thing. The president get for consult everybody, the parliament, the voting. You understand? Whether they accept or not accept, when they consult, then everybody knows they consult.
All right.
You understand? This country we go for be unite. We go for be, you know. What I don't hear reform, now what the APC we don't do before, what they say they can't correct, but then they can do worse more than what the APC we don't do. Then they take no consultation.
Okay.
What they do, they don't bulldoze.
All right. We'll give a minute each, like I mentioned earlier. We'll have.
Hello.
Good evening. Stay away from your TV or radio set, please. Thank you. I think we'll have to hold the international calls there as well. Let's go to our Facebook viewers. We'll pick no more call, please. Ronald George Stone is saying the Constitution is now a byword for successive governments since independence to use as it suits the executive in abusing the same rules that hold the free wings of government to account. Until our judiciary are taken off the shackles of the executive office, Sierra Leone and its constitution is highly meaningful on paper, not by deeds. Democracy is based on the rule of law, not perception, and the rule of law is duly followed in the nomination of Madam Osiri. We can't walk by the perception of what APC wants, but we walk by the rule of law, which is supreme. Ibrahim Jakema is saying there. Ambassador Mike Joseph Kano is saying, this is what I am always saying, that our constitution is a dead man walking. People can even come and define wrongdoing, bad laws today. They are bad laws tomorrow. Let's be careful. When the politicians they can talk, you really can say not for the country then they talk, but now waiting suits them and then parties made J matter. APC think they can be in opposition and choose who is head of NEC. They are really daydreaming. Next appointment would be okay, this is quite interesting. Next appointment will be Lima for regional NEC commissioner. All right. I've said this before. After skimming through that 1991 constitution, whoever that was in power during that period knew exactly what they were doing. That constitution is so vague that it could be translated into what fits. Patrick Wuri. I would take 5 more messages. I'm afraid we have hundreds of them. Time will never permit me to go through all of them. Some of these guys think that they are educated, so they are always trying to stupid the rest of us. Did you guys know that there is difference between informing someone and that of consulting someone? Sila Peaceful Man is asking. Funa Fona is saying a consultation is having a discussion with all parties involved about an issue. It allows all parties to have an input to make the best decision. Whilst all inputs do not have to be acted on, the consultation allows information to be passed both ways before the final decision is made. We all know our constitution is not well written, so we must be tolerant and work together to get the best for our country. We cannot keep using something that was written years ago that is not fit for what is happening now. Indeed, those parliamentarians were just, okay, that's a strong word. I would not use. Ronald is saying, Mr. Minister, you and I know there's no minister in studio. Ambassador Mike Joseph Kanu saying, Honorable Indolo Gevao, be careful, the people are not fools anymore. You were the same one who could not stand your grounds at Parliament. And the 2 more messages. Daniel Brice Wonder is saying, okay. A letter sent to all political parties is a consultation. All what APC is doing is blackmailing for them not to accept defeat come the next general election. The constitution did not say call other political heads as a way of consultation, Samuel Bangali. And the final message I would take is saying if someone used to sit by, okay, no, that's incitement. I will not read that. Michael Macaulay saying, why is it that when some of these politicians come on air and on programs such as these, you hear them laughing in the background when their fellow debaters are on their legs? I think they should stop it. It shows a lack of respect for their fellow. Okay. So many messages. We still having international calls, but we will not go through that route. I'm afraid will not take more calls. I know we have close to 1,000 active participants right now on Facebook, but unfortunately, time would not permit us to go through or bring all of you in. But let me allow you guys to just respond to some of the callers and the messages that have gone through. Let me start off with you, Honorable Abukabo.
Of course, the callers have helped us greatly. So let Honorable Gevao understand the difference between consultation and information. And one of the callers was interested to know. One of the callers is interested to know as to what used to happen under the previous government. You know, one of what used to happen is what Honorable Gevao explained. When President Koroma, former President Koroma, intended to appoint a commissioner, what he did was to invite all political parties, registered political parties, to State House and informs them that I want to appoint so and so to serve as commissioner. You understand? Before ever he would do the letter, you know, that goes public. Yeah? And also, in fact, the callers have helped us greatly to let Honorable Gevao know that there is a strong dichotomy between consultation and information. In consultation, you listen to the person. It is not incumbent on the president to just accept what the people may tell, what the other political parties may tell him. You understand? But the mere fact that the Constitution says you must consult before you appoint, it means that no letter should bear the name appointment or the heading appointment without the consultation. Yeah, we are saying this now because other presidents may want to continue on this trend and they may misuse this. A president will just come and choose his cousin or his uncle or a staunch member of his political party or a card-carrying member of his political party and just writes to political parties that it has pleased his president to appoint so and so, you understand, and after which take the candidate to parliament. And that is what we are against. In a democratic country, we should respect the law. I could remember when we were in parliament, you know, the deputy leader of government business, his argument was always, you have to vote for somebody who will have to determine your future. You have to vote for somebody who you have to take your complaint to. Don't criticize the person and later you take your complaint. And that sounded intimidating. And I told him it is only in Sierra Leone that you see the commissioner is the one that will determine the future of the candidate. Under a normal democratic dispensation, it is not the commissioner that determines the future of the candidate. It is the electorate, because they know now they have commissioners who can change 49 to 149. So that is why they are using threats against members of parliament who contest elections. You see, so we are saying that the Constitution is the supreme book. The Constitution is what brought the president to office. The Constitution is what brought us as members of parliament to office. So wherever it is being abrogated, we should not take kindly to that. You understand? It will come a time we have a president who will choose anybody without hearing or without listening to the oppositions. I have given you an instant, and I'm going to give you again the same instant that President Ahmad Tijan Kaba, the late president, also had intended to appoint John Ahmed Akka as a commissioner, as the chief electoral commissioner. But because he consulted with political parties, and political parties brought out identity card, a political party identity card to which Ahmed Akka belonged. And at the end of the day, what he did was to change Ahmed Akka for Christiana Thorpe. You see, so the consultations may be fruitful because the allegations on NEC are now critical. So they should be conscious, and they should also listen to the public as to whatsoever they say about appointment in NEC. You see, especially recently when these by-elections have been conducted, you've seen so many allegations against NEC. So they should be conscious, they should be careful, and we should ensure that they follow the Constitution. Now somebody may want to ask, why did they circumvent the consultation clause? Is there anything fishy? What were they hiding? Or don't they want the public to have their say, or other political parties to have their say into the appointment? To me, it is a bad precedent. And if other presidents will have to stand on this precedent, it will be very counterproductive for us as a nation. The Constitution is a simple book. To follow the Constitution is not a crime, except you have an hidden agenda or you have an ulterior motive. But it is incumbent on us to follow the Constitution as it's.
Yeah, thank you very much. Of course, somebody asked that if the president wants to appoint, if he needs to inform the political parties. Not in all cases. We have some certain appointment, the president has to inform the political parties. President has done over 150 appointments since 2018, but there are few appointments that the president needs to inform. Contingent upon those that the NEC commissioners. That is, we have 5 commissioners and the one is the chairperson. So among the 5 commissioners, the president needs to inform. So the caller who asks that if any appointments the president wants to make if he has to inform the political parties, yes, only for those constitutional ones. And also, somebody was saying that we are just there to bring fishy things. We don't want to support the issue of government. That is not the case. We are in parliament to uphold the Constitution, and that was the very first day when we were sworn in. We took an oath together with Honorable Gevao. I think we took oath together on the 25th of April 2018, and it stated that we need to uphold the Constitution. And we are lawmakers, and if we are lawmakers, I think we need to do justice to the people of this country, to maintain, because you will not be in parliament forever. You will leave parliament. You will not be as president forever. So whatsoever you do now that will bring a ripple effect tomorrow, then you set a very bad precedent. Wherein we are today praising Ahmed Tijan Kaba for his good deeds, making references, very good references. But when tomorrow you are not in office and they start to bring bad reference to you, it's very bad. So that is why we are here to uphold the constitution and also maintain. And sometimes even this issue of consultation, after the letters were sent to the political leaders, they wrote to the president that we are not consulted. At that moment, bring them together.
Exactly.
You sit with them. Even the leadership in parliament, they can do that. They can bring those political parties together and sit together and dialogue and take measures that will bring peace to this country. But every other time, we are battling in parliament for appointment, no appointment, some other issues. Why can't we follow due process? Just a matter of following due process. We are not against the nomination of that woman. In fact, let me tell you, let me shock you. That woman was under a very serious stress and threat in our 2017 certificate for the C4C. She was very much instrumental. She took upon herself that I will give this certificate to C4C under a very stressful circumstance. She did that. So that tells you but I will not look at that.
So does that put her as one of, as being fit for purpose, as one that is credible to all office?
The problem we have, just a matter of that consultation. She was very instrumental in the issuance of our certificate in 2017 to our political party. Hadn't been a presence in that particular PPRC, C4C wouldn't have been a political party. But we want to maintain the constitution and follow the constitution and make sure that the constitution is supreme. That is why we stood against our nomination. That is the issue.
So as you mentioned that, you took an oath to uphold and defend the constitution. Yeah. And now you're saying that very constitution, which you sought to protect, has been violated. Then what next?
Well, that is why we walk out. We send a very strong message by walking out of parliament to show our dissatisfaction about this is about our appointment. That is it.
All right. Honorable Gavao.
Yeah, thank you so much. In the first place, somebody asked the question whether I'm a lawyer. I am a freaking intelligent lawyer and a very successful one. Very successful one.
You should have allowed other person to say that for you.
No. Secondly, somebody asked why did the APC walk out, whether that was a little childish. I agree with that person. Because if they had participated in the vetting process, voted in the vetting process, and then just come to play at the gallery, at the plenary, it is indeed childish. Thirdly, their questions on the word consultation succeeded in confusing the two of them the more. The Constitution did not define consultation. Fourthly, as a Sierra Leonean, this nation lost close to 20 billion loans.
Honorable, are you responding to the text messages and calls, or are you bringing the issue of a review?
This nation lost.
He's short of words.
Let's allow him.
He's short of words.
Let's allow him.
No, what I'm saying, respond to the Facebook messages.
Let's allow him.
He can't.
This nation lost close to 20 billion loans. I was on that commission. After we closed that commission, every member on the Constitutional Review Commission got 20 million loans, and we were 80 in number. Just for that review to be thrown out of under the carpet because it did not suit the opposition now, then the ruling government. All the reason why we do not have a new constitution. Justice Cowan of blessed memory and other judges, Justice Thompson, Justice Brahma, the best of judges, sat through that process. But just because certain dictions like Supreme Executive Authority was taken out, we threw that one under the carpet, and up to today, we are all saying our constitution is challenged, and indeed it is challenged. Until we review it and cure some of these problems, it remains to be challenged. Let me give you an example, Samuel. We members of parliament, if we contest a general election and we lose, we are not qualified to be appointed as ministers. But if somebody contests as presidential candidate and loses, he's qualified to be appointed as a minister. So as the question is, Is it that by contesting a general election, you are a criminal? What wrong would you have done? So there are so many clauses in our constitution that is affecting us.
We know
very
that.
Soon,
come to the answers
yes,
now.
very soon we are reviewing clauses in the constitution. So now they have also challenged them. Why didn't you come with the letters that the previous government had been writing?
Not letters.
For us?
They invite them to State House. They sit
brother,
and discuss.
I am responding. Would you please give me?
No, I just want to get clarity.
Please don't be jittery.
You've done the
Please
same thing on several occasions.
There was a question that APC members of parliament on the panel ought to have brought letters of appointment by the previous government, so we would have compared the context or the content of those letters then with this letter to see whether the diction were the same. Because I am saying the diction in this letter and the diction in the appointment letter are not the same. That was my argument, and that this letter precedes the letter to the nominee, and that there could have been no better diction used by his president as reference than the appointment of the commissioner. That's my argument, which they have not been able to answer. I will say everybody will be confused. That is why the Constitution gave absolute right to the Supreme Court. We call it original jurisdiction for the Supreme Court to interpret the Constitution. Now that we are confused with this word consultation, and we have been confused 1 year before now, Samuel, you agree with me that during the appointment of the Chief Electoral Commissioner, this word and this issue consultation came up. It was all over 98.1. It would have behoved a member of parliament or a citizen to approach the judiciary in their original jurisdiction for them to lay this issue to rest. This issue had been an issue even when Solomon Ekuma Berera was Attorney General. He wrote an opinion on this word. He wrote an illegal opinion on the word consultation. So the word is confusing, and the only person who can properly interpret or define it is the Supreme Court. The Constitution did not. I am defining it as even exchange of letters is sufficient consultation. They are saying the president ought to have called people.
No, we are not saying that. We are not saying that.
Okay, that the vogue before now.
We are not
the president used to call people.
Thank you.
It's a matter of style. It's a matter of appreciation of the language and the style that you choose. If President Bio chooses to consult them by writing them letters,
that is not consult.
And before the appointment, you cannot say it is not consultation. If you call me on phone to say, I'm Lawyer Guevara, I have an issue in court, I want you to actually represent me and explain it to me and pay me my fees, you have consulted me. I have worked for so many companies abroad. They consult me via phone. They pay my monies in my foreign account. I float their companies. They come. If I don't do their job, they will hold me for professional misconduct because they consulted me.
Thank you.
Consultation is a subjective term. What you consider consultation and what I consider consultation are two different things. Let us approach the Supreme Court to lay
So your clients normally consult you via letters?
Yes,
letters.
by email, by telephone call. Yes, and several other lawyers and professionals.
Okay.
You can consult a medical doctor via Zoom today. You can. It does not necessarily mean that you have to go and walk into the office.
That means there will be some amount of response.
No,
there will be some amount of response. Because the medical doctor will ask, what are some of the problems you have? Do you have headache?
Exactly.
Yes, I have headache.
Yes.
I have side pain. These are consultation.
Is not one-sided.
The understanding is because they are confusing consent and consultation.
No, it's not consent. I have told you that even if you do not agree with the president still has the right to go
ahead. Because
so don't say we are confusing consent and consultation.
Let me land. They are confusing.
I hope you know the capacity of people you are talking with.
I know your capacity very well. That's why I'm dealing with you in this way.
Thank you.
Now, they are confusing consent to consultation. They are confusing opinion, expressed
left consultation.
to consultation.
Come to opinion.
My lawyer is
that the word consultation has become a difficult word that is posing problem, and it can only be defined and accepted by the Supreme Court.
Consultation is a very simple word.
I want to tell my brother,
very simple word.
and I'll reiterate it, that the Sierra Leone People's Party does not need the support of any commissioner
to change
to
49
win an election.
to change 49 to
There are no
149.
people, this APC,
To change 49
the
to
APC
149.
appointed all
You
the
do
5
not need
commissioners.
commissioner.
All the 5 commissioners were appointed under the APC. We went to the polls and we defeated them hands down.
And now you are changing 49 to 149.
That is an allegation. An allegation is an assertion before
I know you never accept it.
When we come,
Why did NEC replace one of their workers, one of their staff?
Not to my knowledge.
It's everywhere not accepted that the worker tampered with figures. That was why it was changed. Why did that happen?
What will be to your knowledge and what will be to my knowledge?
No, what is bad will never be to your knowledge.
To my knowledge. So when you come and you make assertions like that, somebody changed 49 to 149, the reason why you make that one is because you know how filthy your hands were in past election when you were in governance. When you used to fill
you have never challenged them. Once APC was in governance, you have never challenged them.
I mean, that is why you
tampering with fingers. You've never. But now, NEC itself had to replace one of the staff on allegation of changing figures.
Okay, and
NEC itself
even your own
replaced one
godfather
of their staff on allegation of changing figures.
Ex-President Stephen, in his book, told you on a clear
NEC has never been
you will never defeat the SLPP.
NEC has never been
Go and read the book written by Shaka Stephen. He told you people, I mean, on a clear day, in a free and
don't
fair
change 49
election,
to 149 and see whether
you can only win elections
don't
when
change 49 to 149 and see whether you
let me ask you this question,
we are in the business of appointing people that are full of integrity. And like you yourself has confirmed, Zainab is full of integrity. You don't have any
Let me ask this question.
Of course, you know, my brother,
in short of words,
what should be the way forward to a certain, to prove confidence, trust, and credibility in the institution that conducts elections? Because this is where Zainab works now.
It's simple, yeah? For the mere fact that NEC itself had to replace one of their staff for tampering with figures, elections figures, that is a cause for alarm.
there is no evidence to that.
Allow me.
It's an allegation.
Allow me.
No, put forward
It's
evidence.
on report. It's on report. NEC also was on the radio station 98.1 to say that the guy who did that had to sign.
That is not true. I'm challenging
Honorable
you. That is
you are
not
not
true.
the PR for
That
NEC. Leave that one. Leave that one for NEC.
No, that is not
You know
true.
why I will not doubt you?
No, that
because
is
you
not
have
true.
been on BBC castigating our parliament for corruption, and you are on again in the parliament apologizing.
I did.
Apologizing. So I will not doubt you.
I did. And I
somebody who has castigated anybody and has gone again to apologize is somebody who lacks integrity from every stretch of the world. So I don't doubt you. Let me just answer my question. Let me just answer. No, you apologize.
No.
You apologize.
No,
you apologize.
No,
you didn't apologize.
I said
You are on record. Of course.
I said that. I said it on conviction.
I am one person.
No,
never.
No, you apologize. That one is clear. You apologize. You apologize.
Gentlemen,
we are not
gentlemen,
here.
No, you are talking about
gentlemen,
I castigated Parliament and I believe in the
gentlemen, let's avoid the personal attack.
I was asked the question. He interjected.
Go ahead,
and that is what he has been doing since the beginning of this process. When you talk, everybody keeps quiet. But when people talk, you keep on interjecting.
On public media.
Go ahead.
Let me continue,
Yes.
my brother. I am saying, for the fact that Christopher Johnson or so? Christopher Jones was on 98.1 saying that the NEC official who was caught tampering with figures had to pen down his signature. It's just a mistake. It's a procedural issue, you understand? Shows that NEC itself should be curious about their integrity, should be curious about the way they conduct elections. Yeah? These are not single allegations. Let us go to constituency 110 elections. The elections were cancelled. Yeah? For which reason? Because in an entire station, in an entire center, all the elections boxes were destroyed. Yeah? And what NEC did was they went ahead, NEC went ahead to count the results with the opinion that the other lady would win the elections. After they have counted, they noticed that Honorable Kadi Davis won the election. They had to cancel the election. Why did you count the election that you know you would cancel at the end of the day? Why didn't you just cancel the election? Why did you go ahead to count the election when the end product will be cancellation? Yeah, let's forget about that. Yeah, let's forget about that. Let's go again to Tonko Limba. Elections were conducted there. Just few minutes to the announcement of the result. Yeah. An innocent boy was fired. He was killed. And what did they do? They didn't read the results. They didn't read the result. They cancelled the election. Let us go again to Tonko Limba. Tonko Limba in the Tele Center, NEC officials, NEC has admitted to this. So I am saying authoritatively, with aplomb, you understand? They said they caught their staff tampering with figures. And the same allegation for which that staff was changed is the same allegation for which the opposition is still saying that the same 49 was changed to 149. So it's a cause for concern. So people's eyes are open now to NEC because of the malpractices that do happen in elections. That is why people are so sensitive to NEC. And that is why procedures must not be flouted in the appointment of officials of NEC. Because NEC's credibility is on the line. It's on the line, and it's very serious for our nation. Any other president may come and may want to do the worst out of NEC. These are institutions we should protect. These are institutions. That is why Obama said when he went to Ghana that we don't need strong men, we need strong institutions. NEC should be strong enough to determine whosoever wins an election. Not to listen to this voice or to listen to that voice. Even when the allegations came out very clearly. And let me tell you, I saw a video in the Tale Center when the commissioner, Alpha, took the RRF form, gave one of their staff to display it, that is the RRF form. And the figure that is stated in the Tale Center is not what was in the RRF form that they displayed. So that was a concern for the nation. That was a concern for the public. These election malpractices are so serious that the international community is beginning to look Sierra Leone with a bad eye.
All right.
It's a bad eye.
Yes. Honorable Paul Sam, what's the way forward? How do we get things fixed?
The way forward, it starts with the Supremo, that is the president, to the judiciary and parliament. These are the three institutions that actually need to uphold the constitution.
Right.
My brother was saying the credibility of NEC is at stake at the moment. Definitely is at stake. In the issue of Zainab, which is under review, which we are discussing now, of course, we have laid that at our back because we voted, we marched out of parliament, we walked out of parliament because of that. So we've sent a very strong signal to NEC and also the president that the constitution was ripped. That is why we marched out of parliament because of that. We are there because of all other nominees were there. Even at the appointment, which my brother was saying, other nominees were there. That is why the people, the committee sits and then they approve most of the nominees, 5 out of the 6. And the one they voted against, 5 to 6. So that was it. Secondly, the way forward. Any appointment that is going to be done by the president via the constitution, talking about the consultation. Of course, the 5 commissioners have been appointed. I think they have completed that one. South, East, West and it remains 2. That is the Northwest. The Northwest. It remains now the Northwest. The Northwest, I think the North. These are the 2 commissioners. Going forward, President call the political parties. They say all political parties. Call them, tell them, I want to appoint Abdul Kabu for to become the NEC officer or the NEC commissioner for South or Southwest. Then they can give their views. Upon that, if they even denied, the president has rights to go ahead. That's the prerogative of the president. The constitution give him the mandate to go ahead. If there are any issue in parliament, that is why subject to the approval of parliament. That is why we have all representatives. And if we are in parliament, we are representing our people. That is why 64,000 people that are in my constituency will not come to parliament. But I'm there to represent them. So anything that's going to hamper their progress, I will stand against it in parliament. Whatever that is good, we will support that one.
Is parliament the problem I mean, in a democracy like Sierra Leone, is parliament the problem?
Of course.
For sure.
Of course. If the parliament is straight, if the parliament is clean, we don't need ACC.
Exactly.
We don't need the human rights commissions. But because the parliament has so many problems, that is why we are resorting to some of this. And the political heads, let me say the leader of government is and also the speaker, can engage. He's a number 3 man. If there are issues, because before those appointments happen, before those appointments happens, what happens? The president, the opposition leaders within parliament, there must be some amount of rumors that we are going to walk out, we are going to do this. Why can't you call them? You sit with them and discuss.
They are doing it
and then we move.
the power way.
All right,
These are some of the things we want to expect.
Before I bring in Honorable Give Out, both of you can have a bite on this. How do we fix the parliament, the current parliament?
Number 1, the constitution. When you look at 77K in that constitution, I'm afraid I will be sitting, like Honorable Gevau, we are very close to 2023 elections, and he is expecting to receive his symbol to be voted for in Kailaun to come back to parliament. So because he wants to protect that one, he will not say what he's supposed to say. He is tied. But if that constitution has to be amended, 77K, that if the political party withdraw its symbol from you, you lose your seat. This is number 1. Number 2, conscience. We need to also have a national agenda. National agenda. If all political parties in this country, including the government, they sit together and plan for 10 years, this is agenda. Even if we have one-term government, we have two-term government, you follow this agenda. But when this comes, you put this one aside and say, no, this is not good for purpose, let me bring this one. We need to have a national agenda. Number 1, we need to amend the constitution, and number 2, we have a national agenda. I think that will help us. Parliament,
yes, of course.
Parliament,
yes.
Parliament,
Yeah,
Parliament do not have, you look at parliamentarians. Anyway, let me not go to that. Just
Anyways, the laws are there, yeah? The first thing we need is neutrality from the office of the speakership, yeah? Let me just explain what happened that very day. On 2 or 3 occasions, I could remember there was one day we were on sitting when Honorable KKY came very late. Well, it was not too late, in fact. He came late. But he told Speaker that he was in a workshop organized by his committee. You understand? At the end of the day, he wanted to contribute to the debate. Speaker said, Honorable KKY should not contribute because he preferred going to that conference, workshop, instead of coming to Parliament. So he was deprived. On several occasions, more than 6 to 7 members of Parliament have been asked to leave Parliament because of their attire, the way they dress to go to Parliament. Even Honorable KKY has been a victim of that because he was wearing short-sleeve Africana. He was asked to leave Parliament. Several other members of Parliament were asked to leave Parliament. On the day for this very debate, Honorable Emerson Lamina, the leader for C4C, because Speaker knew he was going to support SLPP, you understand? He came very, very, very late, and he was putting on jean trousers in Parliament, which is unprocedural. That is the worst dressing you can ever put on in our Parliament. Anybody who, in fact, no member of Parliament has ever put on jean trousers. What they will put on is short Africana, and they will be asked out because jean is worse than short Africana. But the Speaker allowed him to contribute to the debate. He came very, 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 very late. Very, very, very late. I know he's your leader. He came very, very, very late. The Speaker allowed him because the Speaker knew he was going to help SLPP to debate because SLPP, as a political party,
So you're saying the problem in Parliament is the leadership?
The leadership, they don't follow procedure. Even the ones we have, they don't follow it. So talk less about bringing in new procedure. Let us follow the procedures we have. Even, let me tell you. In the standing orders, 73 is very clear as to how you would modify or amend the standing orders of Parliament. When you want to amend the standing orders of Parliament, you form a committee referred to as the Standing Orders Committee. And in this Standing Orders Committee, you have representation of all political parties in that committee. The committee will go and write their report, bring it to plenary, and read the report. And plenary will have to vote for the report before ever they change the standing orders. But now go and ask them whether that procedure was followed. Now that they are calling, the leader of the majority was called opposition leader. when in the standing order that we are using now is majority leader and minority leader.
All right.
Just because they know they were minority, they call themselves leader of government business and the majority opposition leader. They don't follow procedure.
Okay.
They circumvent procedure entirely.
All right.
You understand?
Honorable Gevao, how do we fix things?
My colleague Honorable Abdul Kagbo was making very serious and spurious assertion against NEC. What I expect of every serious institution is to file papers in court. I mean, when you file papers in court, let's say there was glaring electoral malpractice in Tonkolimba.
You saw the this
corner,
on this court.
Please,
Go ahead.
You like the court.
in Tonkolimba in constituency 78 or 98, what you do, you institute action and make NEC a party. Because all elections matters instituted in the High Court that goes to the Appeals Court or that are initiated in the Supreme Court, NEC is always a party. So NEC will come, you put those evidence outside and you name and shame them. But if there is no evidence, you come and you sit on a national television and you start making assertions that you cannot support, I consider that
NEC has been on television saying the same thing.
I consider that institution that you represent that said is affected,
NEC has been on national television
so
saying that their staff change figures.
Supporters. You could have filed papers when in 2000,
you too like the court. I know why. I will tell people why you refer
SLPP felt very strongly that APC rigged the elections, the presidential election. SLPP filed papers and NEC was a party. Yes, he knows about that. He was a graduate by then. So when we come on public medium, let us, particularly when those that we castigate do not have the opportunity to respond there and then.
They have agreed to what I am saying, that they cut their staff tampering with figures and they have to change the staff. You might be maligning them, or you might be putting out. They have been on 98.1 saying that their staff change figures and their staff signed by
Honorable Kagbo, I will say a word. By the time you want to quote me, you quote me the wrong way. I have interjected on that point. So something that you said NEC was online or was on a 98.1 6 months ago, you cannot
not
quote
6 months ago.
2 months ago, 1 month
not
ago.
Even 2 months
you cannot
ago.
Quote them verbatim.
Weeks ago. Weeks ago. They said they had to change their staff because it was caught stamping with figures.
I have said we are members of parliament. We are being paid by taxpayers' money. When you go to parliament and you partake in a process, if you don't want to partake in a process, don't start it. The moment the nominee was called forward for interview, what I expected of them was to walk out from the vetting stage, from the appointment stage.
There were other nominees.
Please, all of these nominees, let's talk.
There were other nominees.
You cannot stall
all of those nominees. All of those nominees are not called together.
No, they were all important.
You are misinformed.
They were all interviewed one day.
Can you listen to my point?
All of them were interviewed one day.
Can you listen to my point for a minute? 5 nominees are called on one day, but all of them are not called to appear before the appointment committee the same minute, the same second. You agree with me?
So can you walk off when you have other nominees to interview later? Can you walk
the way forward? You were asked the way forward. The way forward.
Don't ask me for the way forward. Allow me to make my point. Go ahead. It's me, it's the two of you. Just relax. Okay?
Go ahead.
So what was expected of them? You call 5 nominees. You call each nominee to appear before the committee as a person. So if the nominee for NEC was the first nominee, what I expected of all opposition leaders that were on the committee was not to partake in the interview. But the nominee must have been called either first or last or third. They partook in the interview and they voted on her nomination. And like I had mentioned, I don't want us to be economical with the truth. There had been times in that parliament, in our own session, when they had disagreed on the appointment of a nominee, wherein there was a simple majority that could get the nominee to come to the plenary. The minority wrote a minority report, and they tendered and filed both, and they read both. On this occasion, they did not. You cannot compromise on one process and then you go challenging, playing to the gallery on another process to satisfy your godfathers. And I will tell my colleague, Honorable Kagbo, the only person that will be appointed as net commissioner that they will not object maybe will be the Secretary General or some executive member of the APC. Because anybody you appoint, they will be jittery. And we have told them,
because
they have come here somewhere, with all due respect, none of them said this lady had integrity. None of them said this lady was not qualified by reason of age. None of them said this lady was a convict. None of them said this lady was a lunatic. All of them are saying we are not. The
Constitution is more important than what you stated.
Which statute lays down the qualification of a commissioner? For your edification, section 32(3), 32 does not only talk about appointment. It goes further to tell you the qualification of the commissioner, and it even links you to section 76.
Are you too?
Hang on, it's my turn.
I want to help you. You are struggling.
No.
You are struggling to quote the sections. I want to help you.
It leads you to the disqualification of a member of parliament. Because section 32 tells you you have to be qualified to be a member of parliament. And when you come to the qualification and disqualification of members of parliament, you find it in section 75 and 76. So if she had met all of those conditions,
of members of parliament,
members of parliament want to usurp, you want to usurp the functions of the judiciary, whose function it is to interpret the Constitution. You want to be the executive, you want to be the judiciary, and you want to be the legislature. How can we operate in a country like this? We cannot. The legislature is the legislature. Our business is to vet nominees. If they are not qualified, we do not even refer them to the plenary for debate. But you vet them, you qualify them to appear before the plenary, and then you want to challenge the powers of the president in appointing that one because you fail to understand the diction of the letter written to you, and then you want to interpret the Constitution.
All right.
No, it doesn't work like that.
This is where we end tonight's program.
It doesn't work like
I would say thank you very much to our guests, the Honorable Indolo Gifa, the Honorable Abdul Kagbo, the Honorable Paul Sam, for your time and contribution to the show. Many thanks to those of you who send in your comments on or questions on our Facebook page. Thank you very much for being a part of the discussion, and to those of you who called in. This has been AYV on Sunday. My name is Samuel Wise Bangura, saying good night. Until next time, remember to catch a fresh edition of the show next week here, same time, same station, and a repeat of the show comes up on Thursday at 10 p.m. Up next is our AYV Prime Time News. Take care of yourself and stay blessed.